Hey, Cubs win another series. Take 2 of 3 from the Snakes. Let's chat about the recap, King Tuck, and it's a little bit about the bullpen. Brad Savage, Cubs Ivy. Let's go Cubs. All right, I want to start this conversation off with our man, King Tuck. So this series against the Snakes for 3 games, King Tuck. There he is. There's Tuck. King Tuck went 4 for 13 with 3 runs, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, 1 walk, and a K. Um, this dude continues to show why he's so valuable to our lineup. And another successful series. I mean, he's gotten 3 or 4 hits every series since we've started going over his stats. He's currently, for 2025, let's talk about his overall. He's putting up, I mean, I'd say what is equivalent to MVP or at least MVP voting numbers. 96 at bats. He's got a 302 average with 6 home runs, 23 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, and a 1.019 OPS. Can't imagine his bat not being a lineup. The Cubs this year are, one of the best, if not the best, offense so far statistically in baseball. So we put up the most runs in all of baseball for sure. And King Tuck's right in the middle of it, and a big reason why. I love him in the 2 hole. Hope that continues. I know sometimes with the lefty on the mound, he and Seiya swap spots, and he moves to the third. But loving this guy's bat in our lineup. King Tuck, keep it up, my friend. Love you being a Cub. All right. So the Cubs win another series. Again, never ever gonna complain about winning a series. The goal going into any series is to win it. So 3 game series with the Diamondbacks, the Snakes. We got 2 of 3. Cubs won the first 2. We got a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday game. But man, let's go through these. But what a what a wild ride this weekend was. This Friday, Saturday, Sunday was. If you watched all the games, I think it hit basically a summary of our season so far. We showed off the offensive ability. We showed off the flashes of gloves and defense. We showed off we can have good starting pitching. We we also showed that we could be shut out a game and held to a minimal number of hits. We are human. We also showed that our bullpen has flashes of greatness and flashes of, oh my word, what the heck is going on, and who is going to be the consistent one, or whom is going to be the consistent one in that bullpen, who are, because, not everybody's perfect at all times, but just seems like we get a little bit of a carrot dangled with that bullpen, and then all of a sudden we get blown up for 10 runs. We'll get to that in a second. All right. So game 1 Friday was 13-11. I'm sitting. You know what? What were you doing Friday? Friday, I worked half the day. Took off the second half of the day to go golfing with my son and one of his friends and his father. And so, of course, I had the Cubs game kind of on the background, checking here and there. I'm watching. We're up 7-1 in the seventh. I looked at my son. I was like, "Bro, we're up 7-1 in the seventh." And going into the eighth and ninth, solid day. Cubs are going to win this one. I can stop paying attention. What felt like minutes later, all I did was look at my phone, look at the update, and holy crap. Everybody watched, I know. But in that eighth inning, Cubs gave up 10 runs. I believe I heard it 10 runs after the third inning. I think if 10 runs in 1 inning after the third inning, the Cubs are the only team I believe to ever win that game. So in that 10th inning, just we're up 7-1, and just um, positive feel going to the eighth, And then between Wicks and Hodge, I know we had some unlucky, whether it was bounces, we had some unlucky, mistimed errors when in need of an out. But I mean, 9 earned runs between the two of them, and it just felt like it was never going to end. And you go from the roller coaster ride of being excitement. You're on that downswing, ready for the ninth inning. Then all of a sudden, stuff changes. We give up 10 runs, and you're feeling like garbage. I'm sure the energy in Wrigley was super low. You could hear. I watched the recaps and everything after the game, and you could hear the groans and moans for what felt like for an hour for that inning. And after anytime negative happened from Wrigley, there was no excitement. Then all of a sudden, we showed why we're the best offensive team in baseball right now. And in the bottom of the eighth, we had a 6-run inning. I believe in that game, Kelly, Tucker, and Seiya all hit home runs. I believe Tucker and Seiya's were both in that eighth inning, and uh, that put us up to 13-11. And that ended up being the final of the game. Presley came in and shut down in that ninth, which was nice to see. We'll talk about that in a second. But Friday 13-11, what a roller coaster ride, whirlwind, however you want to describe it. Uh, Love to see that the Cubs came out on top and that our offense could come through for us. Saturday, game two, Cubs won 6-2. I think that was more of a clinic. We put up 6 runs on Gallon, the first couple innings, and never looked back. Gallon did shut us down for the what, 3 or 4 innings he pitched after that, and they let him go all the way to, I think, the 100 and something pitches, and but we got to him early. We put up runs, and then pitching and defense held strong. What a Saturday was a quality game. That was a game I expect not expect, but I more so feel that the Cubs are capable of playing. Give us your eight, put us against your ace. We're gonna put the pressure on you. We're gonna make you crack. We're gonna score runs, and then our starting pitching is gonna keep you down, keep a low score, and hopefully our bullpen can hang on. That's kind of expect all year long, and they did on Saturday. So Cubs are up 2-0. Cubs had already won the series after Saturday, and going into Sunday. Sunday was just kind of an awkward game. It took, I think, an hour and a half to play the first inning, because of the rain delays and lightning delays. But the final was 2-3. Cubs lost in 11 innings. Cubs only had 4 hits the entire game, and that's 11 innings. So obviously a day where our offense was held in check. And we did have some opportunities, just never came through with that big hit, which feel like we've been doing all year. Tyon went 5 innings, 1 earned run, and no other runs were scored until the extra innings when that runner's put on base, that ghost runner was put on base, second base, to start the inning. But I mean, this was a game where Tyon pitched 5, but we had Merriweather, Roberts, Hodge, Presley, and Wicks. Technically, stat line wise, they gave up no earned runs, and those are some of our big names in the bullpen. I'd argue add Keller to that list, and Thielbar, who pitched in previous days, and that's pretty much our bullpen and who we're relying on. So for them to give up, no earned runs, obviously some manufactured, because of that ghost man and a couple base hits. And we'll get to errors in a second, but just couldn't come through on that win. Didn't feel like we deserved that win anyway, but for it to go 11 innings kind of made it a little more exciting. Got that hope of that potential sweep. But positive, the bullpen kind of came through that day. Offense really just didn't generate too much, especially with runners in scoring position. So once again, Cubs won 2 of 3. At this point in the season, you know, we're a few games over 500, and just excited for the opportunity to continue, because we are on our tough stretch. Don't get me wrong, 162 games. You want every game. Every game is a chance to win and a chance to lose, but this was supposed to be our toughest stretch, and so far the Cubs are coming through. And you could argue that a couple games they've blown already, and opportunities they've blown to win a game. So could be even better, but not going to complain as a Cubs fan at all. Um, and we already went over the positives of Tuck. Our defense. I'm going to touch base on it real quick. Defense. We had 5 errors during this entire 3 game. Um, sorry, 3 game stretch against the Snakes, and untimely errors. We had that Workman one and the uncharacteristic Nico Horner one, that missed catch at first base. But 5 errors in 3 games. Errors happen in the major leagues, but in all levels. But the Cubs, I mean, if you look at almost every position, it feels like, maybe exception of like third base because we don't have a consistent guy out there, but every position is a could be a contender for a Gold Glove. And Gold Glove is the excellence and level of defense. And for us to have 5 errors in a 3 game series seems pretty significant. 1, 2, okay. Errors are going to happen throughout the year. No one ends the season with 4 million tries and no errors. So, but just a thing to kind of keep an eye on. I'm sure over the course of the full season we'll be fine. Just a weird stretch, because we had those weird ones that last series of the Tucker and the Workman errors and that same at bat, that ended up in a home run. 2 potential chances with the same hitter and against the Padres that ended up in a home run, and at the end impacted the outcome of the game. So love to see those gold glove caliber defensive innings start happening more. But man, just want to touch base on the bullpen. So it's been up and down all season. Cubs are the spot where they're figuring. It seems like, at least, we're figuring it out, trying to figure it out. Cubs are making moves. That shows us as fans that they acknowledge that it's a work in progress. The offense is producing. The starters are getting the job done. So luckily, it feels like we have a little bit of flexibility and wiggle room to figure out this bullpen. And the solid names. Presley's on my list. He had 2 innings, one hit, and no walks this series, and that's what you want out of a closer. I'm not sure. I think he was put in one save situation, or no, he ended up winning the game, I believe, um, on Friday, getting the win. But you know, he, from a stat standpoint, but that's the guy we spent money on. That's the expectation we have in a 3 game series, for him to come in, pitch 2 innings, one walk. Excuse me, no walks, one hit, and just getting outs. Don't care how you do it. We don't expect this guy to have 6 strikeouts every 2 innings, but just to shut down the offense. That's the guy we want. He was a little bit of Stressley so far in the first few series of the season, and now this last outing. Hopefully, that's the guy that continues on the rest of the season. Hopefully, he's getting his groove, and I'd like to see that. Thielbar did great. Thielbar came in and threw a few innings, and when needed, and shut down the offense. That's our lefty right now. Little, not even on the roster, not in the active roster anymore. Sent back down, but we need another lefty in that bullpen. And right now, Thielbar's the guy who's going to get a ton of innings, because he's the quote only reliable one. And he's had his rough times, but looked good this series. Keller's been a bright spot, and always has been so far for this season. Has been pretty consistent. And I still think Hodge is the um I think Hodge is our number one reliever at this point. And he did have a pretty bad outing. Obviously, some untimely hits, untimely errors, And he did give up. I mean, he gave up that big um, that big home run that kind of started the Diamondbacks rally. But I still think over the course of what he's done so far for the season, he's our dominant guy, our shutdown guy. You're gonna have a bad outing. He did, and unfortunately, it was in the crazy roller coaster wild ride that they sent us on Friday. It ended up not impacting the result, but it's definitely noticed, and hopefully that's just his one for a while. But you know, uh, bullpen where it's at, we just need to find some consistency. So Hoyer, Council, do what you got to do. Keep mixing it up. Keep giving the guys chances. We know as fans, our offense is going to continue to produce in general. They're going to have games like Sunday where they don't hit as a whole, but they're going to produce. Our starters are going to give us pretty decent 4 or 5, maybe 6 would be cool at some point. Quality innings. If they're giving up a couple runs, our offense has got a chance, or is going to give us a chance. And then our bullpen, we just got to figure out. We just can't be figuring it out in like the end of May and June. If we're figuring it out 2 months from now, 3 months from now, still, then you know that means we've been having problems then for 2 to 3 months of the whole entire season, and we might be able to get through 162 games figuring out the bullpen and still make squeeze into a playoff spot. But we're not going to get through teams like the Dodgers, the Padres, the Diamondbacks, basically all the teams we've played so far. We're not going to get through those teams in October if we can't have shutdown innings in the seventh, eighth, and ninth, and continue to give up leads in the seventh, eighth, ninth inning. Just not going to happen. But so we're Cubs are in first. Bring up, I had it saved right here. Cubs are in first right now in the Central. Obviously, we're 14-10, and right behind us is Milwaukee at 12-10. Cincinnati's 11-11. St. Louis is 9-13, and Pittsburgh's 8-15. So the Cubs are, I guess we're one game ahead of Milwaukee right now. Those punks continue to win, and 2 games ahead of Cincinnati. So eventually, we're going to see the Central teams, and that's where we need to be different from last year. Obviously, this the start that the Cubs have is fantastic. We're we're beating teams that are playoff and the Dodgers case World Series contenders, and to be able to get results against those teams is 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 fantastic. But the difference between this year and last year has to be that we beat the teams in the Central. I don't have the records pull up with me, but I know we lost more than we won to the Central teams, and that's just going to hurt you when it comes to the division, the Central Division playoff race. There's too many good teams to anticipate and hope to win a wild card. You got to win your division. Um, no squeezing in. You got to beat the teams in your division and take that division title and go into the playoffs with one of the top couple seeds. But so upcoming, we've got the Dodgers tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We've got 2 games against them. Be nice to pull out 2 there. Splitting, not going to complain about, but it'd be nice to pull out 2 there, considering they beat us 2 in Japan, and those were technically the Japan games are technically home games, and these are both at Wrigley. So it'd be nice to take 2 of the home games in our actual home away from the Dodgers. But we'll see. That's going to be exciting. I'd like to see the Cubs put up some other big numbers. That one game, I was stoked. It was like watching what was it? The Cubs won 16-0, and that was like watching, you know, probably my son, who's way better at the show, MLB the Show, the video game, play me. It was like watching some expert play um, some rookie in a video game, 16-0, scoring those many runs. That'd be nice to see again. Wouldn't complain for sure. And then we've got 3 games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against the Phillies, who, Phillies are a successful team, have been for years, and will be a nice test for us at home. And then we start the Central Division games, I believe, against Pittsburgh and maybe Milwaukee after that. But and then after those series, it starts to get into the games where we're supposed to win the series instead of hopefully we'll win. So looking forward to the rest. Looking forward to the next series against the Dodgers and Phillies. Home game. All five of them are home at Wrigley. Hopefully the weather's nice and plays in our favor, whatever that is. I'm okay with blowing out. We've got some big hitters right now and some hot hitters in Seiya, Tucker, and Michael Busch, and even Happ's flexing his muscles recently. And even PCA, shoot, he's got like what he hit 7 games in a row with an extra base hit, something along that line. So bring it on. Have that wind blow out. We'll put offense against anybody. Um, like always, if you can, like, subscribe, comment. It's the best way for us to critiquing us is the best way for us to improve our videos and content. Otherwise, we'll continue to do some shorts and we'll keep doing the series recap. Brad Savage, Cubs Ivy, go Cubs O, and let's fly that W.